All right, good morning, good morning. Hello to any replayers. If you are a replayer, you can still participate. You can tap on the screen for hearts. Hi, Chris Hart. And you can share this with others. You can, of course, find me on Twitter or Snapchat with the same handle at joannazarach. If you have any questions that you didn't get a chance to ask here, or you want to follow up and to ask questions for yourself and for everybody else. Good morning. Oh, look at me, I'm a mess. As you know, I wake up in the morning, I get my kids ready, get my gym clothes on, and then I get on here before I get to the gym. So welcome to everybody that's joining. And if you're new to me, I talk about money habits every single day of the week, 7 days a week. Hi, Norbeck. That's a long name. Sometimes I find names hard to pronounce. So if you're joining me, I talk about money habits. And one of the things, when it's Monday, we talk about Mint. Why do I've chosen Mint as a platform a long time ago, and I've been using Mint for about 6 years now, maybe 7, a long time. And so I'm very familiar with Mint. I advocate its use, and it's actually the foundation of it's a foundation of the money habits. So today I want to dive in on a specific topic. If you've been following me a while, you know we've gone through a bunch of different Mint tutorials. If you're interested in any other Mint topics, you can check out my catch.me/joannazarach account, and every Monday I cover a Mint topic. And so the 3 things that I've been talking about that are really why using Mint is really important, why does it matter to your bottom line, the 3 things were obviously just, from the habits, but from getting in a habit of tracking your money. But if you have your own business, to track your business expenses, if you have a Schedule A on your taxes, to track your deductions. And what was the 3rd thing? I forget. Those are the 2 main things. So today I want to talk about business deductions. Specifically, I want you guys, mint.com. So M-I-N-T, like the flavor, mint.com. It's also like minting money or minted. So here's what I want to show you guys. The thing that I would advocate if you have a business, here's the thing. If you have an existing small business, or you're thinking about starting a business, maybe you're even starting to spend money on a business before you're actually generating any revenue, you really need to start tracking all the money that's going towards it. Because come tax time, when you do have revenues, or even if you're pre-revenue, you want to reconcile with the IRS. If you have other income and you have business losses for the first 3 years because you're investing in your business, you should be able to deduct that. People often worry about starting a business and they think about licensing or, setting up and spending all this money. The thing is that you don't have to do a whole bunch of that, but what you do need to do is track your expenses. So I want to show you, hi Sandy, I want to show you how to do that in Mint. So I'm going to flip the screen. I actually feed I have 2 Mint accounts. One is manages all my stuff, but I've created a Mint account where I can show tutorials where I haven't been managing it as well. So it feeds my information, but it's not my main account. So let's see if I can show this. I'm going to try to flip the screen. Sometimes these demos are a little bit challenging, but here's what I want to show you. Okay. We're going to pick this. So when Mint feeds your transactions into your feed, usually it shows up as a name. A lot of times you will recognize it, but sometimes you won't. So make sure, one of the reasons why you're going in every day is because you're going to forget what this says. So this one says professional services. That's kind of a hint that something I use or bought for my business. And you can see that it says legal. Now, the thing is that it auto-categorizes it, and that's nice. But here's what I would recommend that everybody does for the business. So I think that use your business services. You can use another category. You cannot create a main category in Mint, but what you can do is if I go to business services, this is where I would go and tell you to do this. Go to add and edit categories. And you should do that for every single business that you have. If you have multiple businesses, you're going to have different Schedule Cs or different forms. And what I want you to do is track the business expenses that go with each one. And sometimes you're like, well, this one benefits most of my businesses. So pick the highest revenue ones, right? Like pick the one that's the most relevant to. Don't try to split it too much. So if you go to business services, manage your categories. So whenever you can add your category, go to business services, right? Add your categories, add a category. Here it is. It's under business services. See how it's highlighted? And we're going to put your categories, and you can see, and you can name it. So name it whatever you want it to name, right? I'm going to name it my, let's go. See, it gives you categories that you can do it. And I'm like, no, it's a plan your money business. And you can read biz so you don't forget. Anyway, now I have this category, right? And you can say, I'm done. Okay, so go back to this. So once you set up your category, it'll be available for every single thing. Okay, we're professional services. Look, now it's under plan your money, right? So I'll go through everything else and say, oh, look, my TurboTax fee. Hello, Russia. Same thing. You go to business services, and now plan your money biz is in here. And that's all Smartsheet Direct. See how it's uncategorized? I'm going to go in here, and all of a sudden, I'm marking all the things that are for Schedule 1s, another business expense, right? Here is the point. So whatever you're doing, you're going through it and you're marking all of your business expenses. So then you can write a report at the end of the month. You can reconcile, because what happens is you're going to miss your mobile phone. You're going to miss your business expenses. This is the most common thing I see people do. They start freaking out at tax time and trying to figure out all the money they spend. And I can guarantee you that because of our limitations as human beings, you don't have the capacity, there's all these multiple systems to track. That's why I say track everything in one place. And because you're like, well, I have a business credit card. Has it ever happened to you that for some reason you forgot your business credit card, or the business doesn't take Amex, you use your Visa, or vice versa, and you didn't get to use it? When you go into Mint, you can see all the categories. What if you wrote a check, right? If you wrote a check for a business expense, maybe you used a debit card or PayPal or something else, you might have used an alternative payment method, and then you lost track of it. So just having a business card is not, in my experience, enough in today's world. Hello from Barcelona. So that's why I advocate using Mint for your business expenses. Now you can still have an accountant, you can still have all kinds of things. And by the way, you can send them a report at the end of the month, if you're using it. Again, I'm a do-it-yourself person, because I don't like managing other people. I really don't. That's the truth I realized about myself a long time ago. I don't like managing other people. I don't like hiring them. I don't like telling them what to do. I just like being self-contained. So for me, it was worthwhile to do this. And at the end of the month, I just go through it. I was like, okay, what did I spend on my business this month? And that's in my expense report. But it's very, very easy, because all month long, every day, I go in and I say, okay, these categories, these expenses is what happened. And so some things will be regular, so we'll go through this again. Some things are regular and some things are irregular. Like GoDaddy will be once a year, except you have a lot of domains. So again, what if you had other businesses? You might say, you go, okay, business service. Yeah, I have a second business that I wanted to create a category, and we're gonna, okay, hold on, cancel. So your categories, you have to click add a category. So don't just write over your other one. You said, this is like, you can call it something else, my $1 million idea. And say, okay, and it limits you, whatever. You figure out something. I'm done. And you say, okay, I'm trying to do this, my $1 million idea. Okay, and you say, what else? Oh, look, this travel, I'm going to speak at a conference. That's going to be for my $1 million idea. Again, keep consistent, keep all your business expenses, I would suggest, under business services. So again, you can go in and say, SurveyMonkey, am I using it for my $1 million idea or for Plan Your Money Biz? Oh, it's my $1 million idea. Again, because you're going to have all of these things that are going through. through your cards or through your banking, and you need to keep track of it. And that way you will always have one spot where you know all your financial transactions are going through Mint. Then you can always classify the ones that are business expense related. So that's the lesson for this Monday, is using Mint for your business expenses effectively. Do it by creating a single category for just your business. Don't try to do accounting within Mint. It doesn't work that way. It's not designed to help you manage your accounting categories. It's going to get too complex. The thing what you want to do in Mint is just capture the business expenditure. So things you spent on your business, so that you are keeping track of all the dollars that would go against your revenue when it comes to your Schedule K, Schedule C, whatever your business structure is. And again, you can start doing it as soon as you have a business idea. And then when you're investing in it, when you're sort of spending money, whether you're doing market research, whether you're purchasing a bunch of online, they're inexpensive. A lot of online tools are inexpensive. And then what happens is once you mark that online, like SurveyMonkey, so in my regular account where I have everything set up, like all of these things will automatically be categorized for your business. Why? Because Mint uses kind of a learning, it's a learning paradigm where it remembers that SurveyMonkey is a business expense of this business, and it'll keep every month, and at least will do most of it. So by now, 90% of my recurring business expenditures get marked with my business category, because that's like Mint learns. It's an intelligent process. Good morning, Joyce. Mint will categorize this. How can it's just on the web. It's just like in a browser. You can just do mint.com. I use the browser. I know they have an app, but I've been using the browser versions for so long that I haven't really converted to the app. And because that's my habit, I use it within a browser. I find it a little bit easier, especially for like things like setting up categories. I would imagine it's still probably easier to do it in a browser. So just go open a tab, type in mint.com. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's, I have never used one of that, but I actually used to track my time to see how I spend it. And that's how I realized I have all the time in the world. It's just a matter of prioritization. And so it really was empowering. It's the same with money. Like once you start getting an idea of where all your money is coming from and going, you can become a lot more empowered and a lot less uncertain, because uncertainty is known to actually make you feel much more stressed than knowing. Knowing even a bad thing is coming is actually better than being uncertain. And what I'm advocating is by using Mint and using it effectively, you have a lot more certainty. If you're running a business, the most important thing you need to figure out is it profitable? I see people running businesses and making revenue and not having a clue of how profitable they are. This is not how business success is made. Business is, you cannot scale an unprofitable business. What are you scaling it on, right? So I feel like people go into business without understanding that they're trying to make a profit. So sure, it's about, and yeah, I know you want to start a business, so it's really important to start using Mint to track your business expenses. But that's the thing that that's really, really critical. Do I plan my day beforehand? I have I calendar everything out. So first thing I do is I just look at my calendar. I don't have like an hourly plan. I have my priorities. So I have my 5 priorities and I make sure that I stick with them. Hi, good morning. I stick to my 5 priorities. So like working out is always on my thing. It's like sometimes I don't really plan it out. I don't schedule it out maybe as much as I should. But what I like to do is I have to allow myself some creative time. Like I always, obviously Periscope, I schedule it out. I schedule my meetings. Now I have 3 projects going on, like consulting projects. So I schedule like meetings and stuff, and I schedule a week out. I guess I don't plan a day. It was terrific. It was warm yesterday in Chicago, but it was it's kid filled. Like, I feel like Monday morning I started my recovery from children. Love my kids, but it's not kind of my strength. And so I love getting back into my work routine on Monday. So everyone's like, oh, it's Monday. And I'm like, oh my God, great, it's Monday, because I love feeling purposeful. So I'm backwards to everybody else, where I really treasure getting into Monday. But I don't really schedule my day out very specifically. But I do keep a calendar. I live my life by calendar. I would recommend, it doesn't really matter. I'm always striving for lowest recurring fees. So I have a bank account with TCF, which I know doesn't operate everywhere. And I picked it. Two things. You need to find a bank that's not going to charge you fees, right? Whatever your transaction requirements. So think about what it is. If they're upfront starting charging you a monthly fee, and sometimes they require a balance, like maybe $1,000 or something, pick the most basic account that's not going to charge you fees, because that's just going to be, another $100 or $200 out of your pocket every year for what? So when it comes to banking, I always recommend a low fee. No fee is best. And then convenience. So what it is that you need the bank to do. I have a bank for my business that's not, I have all my banking, my personal banking in Citibank that I don't love. It's just hard to extract yourself from a personal bank relationship. But I didn't go to my Citibank and opened a bank account. Why? Because they were charging like $15 a month just to have money in the account. And they've asked me, like, why don't you have your business account here? I'm like, because your business account service or a setup is shitty. I'm not going to pay $15 so you can hold on to my money. I'm going to go to a lower cost provider. I live in the city. I have that freedom. So I don't think it matters where you keep it. What you need to ask yourself is it free? Or how much do they charge? You need to figure out what's it going to cost you to do banking there, right? And then you need to figure out what kind of bank services do you need. I'm a consultant. I get checks once a month. I deposit them, or I get direct deposit, right? And I don't need to deposit cash. I don't need to do change counting. I don't do cash withdrawals, right? I literally just need someone to receive money that's coming to me, and I need to be able to electronically, or, I write a check or something to do that. That's all. I have extremely simple banking needs. So evaluate your banking needs. Try to, even before you have a business, pretend you have it. How is money flowing, right? If you understand your money flow, then you're going to understand what kind of banking services are critical to you. And then find a bank that's going to be the lowest cost, quite frankly. Banking services are not that great anymore. Especially, unless you're like a multimillionaire, no one's going to help you. So find a bank that's low cost, that's got a branch that you can, if you have problems, how are you going to resolve them, right? Do they have good customer service? All that. So, nope. We do not vote for Trump. Yeah, don't vote for Trump or Trump. Yeah, no, it's keep a notebook next to you, right? Or record it into your phone. I know people recommend, don't sleep with your phone. I sleep with my phone. You know what? You just can't have everything perfect. So, yeah, for the planning. No, I think it's a really good idea to plan for the day ahead. But you don't want to dig into your sleep. PNC Bank, I think it's fine. I think that, again, and sometimes bank change their packages too. So just see what their package is, and they offer different levels. And again, I think the first thing is make sure they're not charging you money. I mean, really, I think this account fee every month that they're building in is bullshit, quite frankly. Find a bank that doesn't charge you money. I think that all the big banks to me are all the same. What is the big banks all have a guarantee from the federal government that they're not going to lose your money. I mean, really what you're trying to do is figure out what your banking needs are and match it with a bank that's going to be a lowest cost bank. I know that some people are like, oh, it's worth money. Capital One is online. So I have Capital One banking. I don't have it for my business checking because the deposit, right? I don't want to worry about deposits. For me, it's I need to deposit a check. I need a really easy thing to do. Like for Citibank, you can do a mobile deposit, but it's only up to $1,000. That's not helpful. So really think about, do you need a physical branch? For Capital One, I use their business savings account because they're one of the few banks that gave you any interest whatsoever for your business savings. So I have a business savings account, and I used to have my personal savings with Capital before it was ING, right? So Capital One bought ING to get into banking because they used to be just a credit card company. And so I think that they're decent. I mean, I bank with them. I moved all my personal savings out of Capital One, quite frankly, because the rate sucked. I thought Ally was better. And even it was 0.1%, I don't care. Like, why can't you match it, right? If you're going to be the bank that claims to have it. And so I just shifted my money to Ally for this is my rainy day savings. So Ally, I use Ally for my personal savings, but for my business savings account, I do use Capital One, and I like it. It's very easy to log on and move your money to your other account. Again, you just have to have a system and a method. So, I've never used Credit One. I don't know what Credit One is. But again, if it's a large enough bank, like again, for me, banks are all the same. Charging the money. Like, by bank fees, like if banks charge you money. But I guess like, how do you access the money? Like if they're charging for your, I'm not sure what you're referring to. May need to do a bigger sentence because it's out of context. So here is how personal dollars and business dollars matter. When you first start a business, you're basically like an investor in your business. So you can definitely put money in. It depends what your business structure, and most people do. So here's how I think about it. You can think of it in terms of reimbursement, right? So you can loan your business money and then pay it back, or you can charge things on your personal cards, and then when the business makes revenue, you can reimburse yourself. It's like people have trouble thinking about entities. You're yourself, and then your company is an entity. If you were going to incorporate, for example, or be a limited liability company, I think for sure incorporating, you can pay in as a share. You can buy a share of your company, and that's the startup capital. So you can do it that way, or you can do it as a loan. So a loan is you would pay money like $5,000, and you would say it's a loan to the company from yourself, and then you would then repay yourself that loan, which wouldn't be income, right? Because the money that goes to your business needs to be qualified as either a share or a loan. And so make sure you keep track of it and just like make a note of it, right? This was a loan, and when you took the money out, it's not income or distribution, it's a loan payback. So if you have a credit card that charges $99, what does it get you, right? So I have credit cards that are no fees, and I have some that do pay I pay an annual fee. I pay an annual fee for Amex because I get Amex points, and I do redeem them for the gift cards. We have some mileage cards that we have as well because we use them for miles. So be very purposeful when you're paying. You shouldn't have to pay if you don't know what the benefit is. And even if you have a benefit and you're finding that you're not utilizing that benefit because you're not really utilizing that card, then you may want to call the company and say, can you either lower this fee or, I think if you're just not getting use out of it, that's $99 out of your pocket every year. And if you're not looking for a credit score event, like if you're not looking for loans in the next year or so, because closing a credit card, I do think can eliminate some of your credit history and obviously takes it out. It helps to rebuild credit. So if you're using it to rebuild credit, obviously, see if you can qualify for a credit card that doesn't require a fee, but if you are in sort of the lower credit score range and that's the only credit card you were able to get to rebuild credit, then you keep it for as long as you do. But longer term, once you have established more credit, look for obviously credit cards with lower no fees. So again, have the no fees. If I only have fees for credit cards that I feel like I'm getting something out of, but it's really hard to get out of it. That's why a lot of credit cards will get you the first year free, like first year no fee, because they know behaviorally it's really hard for people to cancel those credit cards. So if it's serving a purpose, then like see the value in it, but then like, you know, see what it is long term. So that's my advice. It's like, it's know what you're using it for, right? I think so. I mean, $99, he should get a different credit card, right? Like once he rebuilds his credit, apply for different cards. Yeah, if you have, right, that's right, for your oldest credit cards. So do try to apply for credit cards that charge you no fees and keep those current and obviously in good standing. Even if they have a small credit limit, what Joy said is true. It's the length of credit. And so build up that credit on that. So if you see if you can find another credit card that he can open that doesn't charge a fee, so that he can also be using that to build his credit as well. And I understand that when you're rebuilding your credit, then sometimes you don't qualify for those. But see if there are any even with low credit limits that will do that, because then you can have that. So so that's it. Any other questions that you guys have? I'm always happy to answer questions or give you my thoughts. Credit rebuilding and stuff, I'm not an expert on. I'll tell you that right away. I know there are other people who are experts on that. So I just more from a credit card usage and utilization. I'm not sure. That's the kind of questions where a lot of other people are more expert, because they've never played in that space on rebuilding credit and credit score repair and stuff. So I have more knowledge around credit card utilization as a tool versus the credit score. So I'm not sure how long. But there's definitely like free credit score monitoring, right? I think I use Credit Karma, and my American Express gives me a free credit score. I haven't looked at recently. But I think, you know, it depends on, I think there are things you can do. So I don't think so. If you're not for-profit, you can own a for-profit LLC. I can go ask the IRA question again. So I'm not sure about it. Where can you go for nonprofit information? I'm not certain. Okay. Я не говорю по-русски. That's about all I got for people with the Russian questions. So that's the, but someone asked about our IRA. So ask the question again. If you want to start an IRA, I'm happy to talk about it. But so nonprofits as owning for-profit company, I don't think so. I don't quote me on it, but like my first impression is I don't see how that's there would be two different entities. Sometimes there is a nonprofit that's part of for-profit, but I think it's carved out separately. Oh, how do I start your IRA? My recommendation is always to use Vanguard. That's the lowest cost provider of mutual funds, and you can go to Vanguard.com. And they have a form you fill out there. You know, you set it up. That's where you start it. It's very much like walk through the, you know, like if you go to Vanguard.com, let's see. Vanguard's my favorite because, like I said, I like the lowest cost. So if you go to Vanguard, so I just typed in Vanguard.com, and you go, let's see. And you would go to personal investors, see how this is open a new account. Or if you have a rollover, you go to the site, the personal investor site. So when you're in the personal investor sites, let's see. I already have an account, but here it is. You see, this is open an account on the right. It also has forms, but you could do open an account. See, they also have, they really do have very good customer service. So you can call them if you have any questions. And look like that. What would you want to do? They have a very straightforward thing. So you just go to Vanguard, you open a new account, and, you know, and they let you, you create your Vanguard thing if you haven't signed up, and you just follow the steps. I always recommend Vanguard just because it's lowest cost. There's other places that provide IRAs. IRA is a vehicle that holds your investments. to start for yourself. Yeah. So those both things are relevant to you in terms of tracking your business expenses as you're making any business expenditures, and also for sure start an IRA. You're eligible for an IRA if you have income or your spouse has income, and then there's certain tax treatments, and they're based on income levels. So make sure you look that up. I'll definitely make a little chart out of it as well, because I keep thinking, oh, the income limits, I should know them a little bit better in terms of what they are, so I can give people information on IRAs, income brackets, in terms of if it's tax deductible, if you qualify a Roth. But everybody can have a traditional non-tax deductible IRA. I think for Vanguard, it depends on the fund. Some funds have minimums. So I know that some require $1,000, but I think if you do some automated deductions, like a monthly contribution, they lower it. So I don't recall what their minimum is to start. And again, some of it depends on the fund you pick. So it's more the fund than an IRA. If you don't have enough money to start with Vanguard, well, you can always start it and just put it in the, just contribute to a money market account, because I don't think that has a minimum. You just kind of hold the money in Vanguard in an IRA till you have enough for to buy a fund. So you can start the IRA fund with smaller amounts. Once you build up, then you can buy a fund with it. So it's like a 3-step process, right? Where you open it, you start contributing to it, so you can capture the tax deduction potentially, or gain the tax treatment, and then you can buy the fund at a later time. You don't have to do everything simultaneously, get it all in one place. You can even open an IRA with your bank and just put money away, in the savings, so you're getting the credit for the tax treatment of it. And then when you have enough in that to buy a fund, then you can roll it over. So it can be a few more steps, but you can open an IRA with your bank or anybody. It's just, all you're looking for is no fees, right? That's really, you can't emphasize this enough, how important it is to find a no fee or low fee investment options. So in today's banking environments, you're not going to find a lot of interest bearing things. That's why you're going to have to build up to where you can buy a fund. And again, because transactions cost money, and that's why the mutual funds set minimums for people, because they don't want people buying in $100 a piece. And I know that that's not great for people who are trying to start out, but USAA though has a low cost, I think a small minimum fund, and they're also a great low cost provider. I haven't used it. They're typically, so CDs, they're going to be low. They are going to have a couple percentage interest, but eventually you want to get into the market, right? You're going to want to get into the stock market. So you definitely can start with a CD. And then when it builds up, when you have enough money to buy into a fund, then you can roll it over. So I think Ally Bank has an IRA option. Everybody has an IRA option. So if you look at Ally, through a credit union, everybody has an IRA. So go, whatever credit union if you're already part of, go to your bank, say, can I open an IRA? And just ask, are there any fees associated with it, right? Because that's just a vehicle to hold your money. And then you can pick a product that they offer and see what they offer. So you may need to do a little bit more research based on the lower amount to get started. So, but definitely credit unions, and go to your credit union and say, I'd like to open it, and just to get started on it. And it's really the habit of contributing. And once you build up to a bigger amount, then you'll have more options. Definitely the options are bigger. Yeah, the options are bigger for people who have who have some amount of money. It's because the transactions do cost money for the mutual funds, and they don't want people transacting at $100 intervals. But definitely go to your credit union, open an IRA, put a CD, and it's just literally about getting started. So I would encourage you to do that. So that's, I think, might be the best option actually, with starting with smaller amounts. Okay. Any other questions that people have? I know we got a little bit off topic, but that's all right. If you joined here from Mint, if you're doing the replay, I covered the Mint section in the first 10 minutes. So, and then I'm just answering questions for anybody that has them. But I will be back tomorrow. So for everybody joined and stayed on, thank you. I'm going to be back on tomorrow. Yeah, you definitely should. You would definitely would want to do that. It's a great tax deferred vehicle, and everyone should have an IRA and or 401k. You know, you should do all the tax deferred vehicles before you do the after tax investing. That's my opinion, and that's which is okay. It's okay to just get started now. So yeah, go to your credit union and just get started with the IRA and gold. Yeah, gold's funny. I worked for a gold mining company a while ago. It can be scary, right? Because you feel like you're behind. But you know, just taking action, like going and getting started today, it's gonna get you it's gonna get you motivated, right? Because you're taking action. Because remember, taking control and taking action and being more clear, it's gonna build on it. And you know, the best time to start investing was yesterday, and then the second best time is today. So if you get started today, that would be great. So you can do that. You can do this, and so you'll just build. You know, you start building anywhere you are. Just start building. And so even if you feel like you're a little bit later in life, and you say I didn't get started. Yeah, you're welcome. No, you can do this. You can do this. I mean, it's like, you know, you just got to be like, I am where I am, but I'm gonna get started. So, which would be great. Anyway, I'm wrapping up. I'm gonna be on tomorrow, every single day. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Tuesday is a task. I got to think about task. I've been thinking a lot about return on investment in terms of knowing how much your investments have made from, you know, over time. And so I'm not sure yet exactly how I'm going to do that, but I do want to start talking about it. And again, if you're joined in and you're looking for the mint stuff, it was in the first 10 minutes. So hopefully it's very interesting. Yeah, just, you know, just take some action, and I think credit union and opening an IRA might be the best bet. It was very interesting because gold that isn't really a product that you sell to customers. It's a market. It's like a combination of a financial company with a mining operation. So it's very fascinating as a consultant for them. So it's very interesting to see them from the perspective of having no customers, no sales, no marketing really, and having this operation, but having their price of their product be fixed by the currency markets. And it was like right before the gold crashed, the gold prices were crashing. So it's fascinating what happened to them in the previous 5 years, and then, you know, since then. So I just really enjoy understanding different business model, and gold mining is one of the most unique business models because of, again, the operations heavy, and then the currency setting price of gold, right? You're actually mining a real product, and there's like science and technology behind it, and operations and all that, and then you're selling into a currency market basically, and so this is a very unusual business model. So I enjoy it from that perspective. Was like, you have to think really hard about it. You're like, wait a minute, this company has no customers, right? It's like they can't just decide what to price. Like no one really needs gold. It was used as currency. So from that perspective, it was really, really fun. So, all right, guys, I will see you here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Thank you again for joining. And don't forget, you can always find me on Twitter or Snapchat to ask me questions later. Bye.